Affliction isn't a stop sign. It's a signal to rise higher. Most people see trouble and think it's the universe telling them to sit down, stay quiet, or accept defeat. But the truth is, every challenge that stands in front of you is actually pointing upward, telling you there is more inside you, more ahead of you, and more built within your spirit than you ever realized. Affliction doesn't visit the weak. It visits those who carry purpose, those who possess strength, those who have the potential to step into a bigger chapter. So when life presses you, it's not trying to end you. It's trying to reveal you. Think about it. Diamonds don't shine until they go through pressure. Gold isn't purified until it walks through fire. Even seeds never rise until they're buried. So when affliction comes knocking on your door, it's not there to ask for your surrender. It's there to unlock your next level. The problem is, most of us misread the signs. We feel pain and assume we're losing. We feel heaviness and assume we are failing. But the truth is, pain is often the language of growth, and heaviness is the weight of transformation. If you weren't destined for more, life wouldn't bother stretching you. Every time you face something bigger than you, it's a signal that something bigger is being prepared for you. You don't grow when life is easy. You grow when life demands strength you didn't know you had. And the amazing thing is, God doesn't let affliction show up without placing strength beside it. He doesn't allow battles you're not equipped for. You may not feel ready, but readiness isn't measured by feelings. It's measured by what God already placed inside your spirit long before the battle arrived. He saw the challenge coming and planted victory inside you ahead of time. Affliction is the alarm clock of destiny. It wakes you from spiritual sleep. It shakes you out of comfort zones. It tells you that your old strength can't carry your new assignment. So what does God do? He lets affliction push you into discovering the strength that was hiding beneath fear, beneath doubt, beneath excuses, beneath who you used to be. You're not being broken. You're being upgraded. You're not being slowed. You're being sharpened. And here's the truth most people never hear: affliction doesn't mean God left you. It means He's closer than ever. Because when the storm hits, He doesn't disappear. He steps into the storm with you. When you feel weak, that's when He carries you. When you feel surrounded, that's when His protection becomes visible. You only learn the power of God when life gives you something you can't fix alone. Affliction is the classroom of faith. It teaches you dependence, patience, resilience, and spiritual authority. So don't look at your struggle and say, "This is the end." Look at it and say, "This is the beginning of who I'm becoming." Every person who ever rose high had to first rise through something difficult. Every person who ever walked in purpose walked through seasons of pressure. Greatness is never born from comfort. It is born from resistance. So the next time affliction shows up, don't shrink. Don't step back. Don't let fear start speaking louder than faith. Instead, take a breath and remind yourself, if this came to me, it's because God knows I can rise above it. The affliction is not your stop sign. It's your signal, your calling, your invitation to grow, to elevate, to awaken the strength that has been resting inside you. Rise higher. Mornings decide momentum, because the start of your day is not just a moment in time. It is a spiritual steering wheel. It sets the direction, the attitude, the emotional climate, and the mental strength with which you face everything that comes after. Most people wake up and immediately give their morning away to whatever feeling hits them first. If they feel tired, the whole day becomes heavy. If they feel worried, everything becomes stressful. If they feel defeated, every small challenge looks bigger than it is. But the truth is, the first thoughts you allow into your mind are the architects of your entire day. The first words you speak can either weaken your spirit or release strength into your bones. And the first prayer you make can shift the atmosphere around you long before you step out of your door. That's why mornings matter. When you wake up, your spirit is wide open. Your mind has not yet taken on the weight of the day. Your heart is ready to receive direction. So if you start your morning with negative thinking, scrolling, complaining, or worrying, you're planting the wrong seeds into the soil of your day. But if you start the morning with intention, with words of strength, gratitude, faith, and clarity, you build a foundation that nothing throughout the day can easily shake. Mornings are spiritual battlegrounds. This is when the enemy tries to hit you hardest. He knows if he can weaken your morning, he can control your momentum. If he can disturb your peace early, he can distract your purpose later. That's why anxiety often shows up first thing. That's why heaviness tries to sit on your chest before you even rise. That's why old fears whisper when you open your eyes. It's because the enemy understands the power of a believer who starts the day strong. A strong morning means a strong mind. A strong mind means a strong spirit, and a strong spirit is unstoppable. You must take authority over your mornings. You don't wait to see how you feel. You command how you will feel. You don't wait to see what the day brings. You declare what you will bring into the day. The moment your feet hit the floor, you should already be building momentum. Speak strength even if you feel weak. Speak peace even if you're stressed. Speak victory even if battles are waiting for you. What you speak in the morning becomes the energy your spirit carries throughout the day. The way you start your day is the way your day tends to continue. If you begin it rushed, you'll move through everything with impatience. If you begin fearful, you'll meet challenges with hesitation. But if you begin with intention, speaking life, praying with focus, grounding yourself in God's presence, then you walk through the day steady, clear, and unshaken. Momentum is not about emotion, it's about direction. You can feel tired but still move with power. You can feel uncertain but still walk with confidence. You can feel pressure but still carry peace. Because momentum comes from what you set in motion early. When you declare strength in the morning, you create a rhythm of resilience. When you declare gratitude, you activate joy. When you cover your day in prayer, you place every moment under divine protection. A strong day does not happen accidentally. It is built intentionally. One decision, one thought, one prayer at a time. And every morning gives you a fresh chance to reset, to realign, to rebuild your strength, and to choose the mindset you will carry into the world. So don't wake up and surrender your morning to circumstance. Don't let yesterday define today. Use your morning as your launch pad. Plant faith, plant peace, plant purpose. Because when you own your morning, you own your day. And when you own your day, you begin shaping the life God designed you to walk into. You are stronger than what tried to defeat you last night, because every new morning carries a divine reset, fresh strength, renewed mercy, restored clarity. Whatever weighed on your heart yesterday does not have the authority to define who you are today. That heaviness you felt, that fear that tried to whisper in the dark, that worry that tried to stay on your chest, none of it has the final say. Night is when the mind exaggerates problems, when emotions feel louder, when doubts multiply. But morning is when God steps in with light, reminding you that darkness never wins. If you woke up today, it means you still have purpose. It means you still have strength. It means you are still chosen. And if God allowed you to see another sunrise, He also equipped you with everything you need to overcome what tried to break you. So many people wake up carrying yesterday's battles into today, believing that because they struggled before, they will struggle again. But that's not how God works. He renews strength daily, not occasionally. He pours power every morning, not just during the easy seasons. You don't have to drag last night's fear into today's opportunity. You don't have to carry the same burden the enemy tried to load onto your heart. Maybe yesterday brought you disappointment, conflict, temptation, confusion, or grief. But here's the truth: if it didn't defeat you, it strengthened you. Every attack that failed to stop you only built more endurance in you. Every tear you cried watered the seeds of resilience. Every moment you survived added more proof that you are tougher than anything designed to break you. Sometimes you don't feel strong, and that's okay. Strength is not always loud or visible. Strength doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes strength looks like showing up when your heart is heavy. Sometimes strength looks like praying when you feel empty. Sometimes strength looks like taking one step when you don't know what step two will be. Strength is the decision to keep moving when everything tells you to quit. And the fact that you're breathing, listening, and still searching for direction, that is strength, real strength, God-given strength. Remember, battles aren't proof of weakness. They're proof of potential. The enemy doesn't come after people who have nothing inside them. He comes after those chosen for something greater, those carrying divine purpose, those whose future threatens darkness. If your night was heavy, it's because your destiny is weighty. If your mind was attacked, it's because your mission matters. And if you woke up tired but still here, still breathing, still willing, then you are already stronger than what tried to defeat you. Your spirit has survived things your mind has forgotten. You've walked through storms that should have drowned you. You've stood up after disappointments that could have crushed you. You've carried burdens that others never even noticed. Yet here you are, still rising, still believing, still pushing. That's not weakness. That's strength, quiet strength, deep strength, God-built strength. And don't forget this: the attacks that hit you hardest usually come right before breakthrough. Pressure increases before elevation. Storms rage before peace arrives. Nights feel the darkest right before morning breaks. So if last night was tough, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Something is being shaped in you. Something is being built around you. Something is being shifted in your favor. So step into today with confidence. Don't drag old fear into new blessings. Don't let yesterday's lies drown out today's truth. You are stronger now, wiser, braver, more grounded. What tried to defeat you last night failed, and because it failed, today you walk with more authority. You are not the same person who faced that battle yesterday. You are stronger, more prepared, more focused, more protected. And today, you rise with a strength only God can give. Your faith must speak louder than your feelings, because feelings change with the wind. But faith stands like a mountain. Feelings react to the moment, but faith responds to the truth. Feelings say, I'm tired, I'm scared, I don't know how this will work. But faith says, God is with me. Strength is coming. Breakthrough is on the way. You were never designed to be led by your emotions. You were designed to be led by the Spirit. And the reason many people feel defeated is because they let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. But when affliction rises, when fear crawls into your chest, when doubt starts whispering in your ear, that is the moment faith must step forward and speak louder than everything else. Faith isn't just believing. Faith is commanding. Faith is giving your spirit the final word, even when your circumstances try to interrupt. Faith says, I will still trust. Faith says, I will still stand. Faith says, this storm will not drown me. That kind of faith isn't built in comfort. It's built in struggle, in uncertainty, in darkness where you can't see the next step, but you take it anyway because you know God placed it there. When feelings shout fear, faith whispers courage. When feelings declare defeat, faith declares victory. And when feelings want to quit, faith reminds you who you belong to. Everyone feels discouraged sometimes. Everyone feels overwhelmed. Feeling weak doesn't mean you are weak. It means you're human. But what separates the victorious from the defeated is the ability to choose faith over feelings. Feelings are loud at first. They rush in like a wave. But if you don't give them the microphone, they fade. Faith is quieter, steadier, calmer. But when you give it the authority to speak, it becomes a fortress. It becomes your shield, your anchor, your weapon. There will be mornings when your feelings tell you to stay in bed, to give up, to stop believing for better. That's when you must remind yourself feelings come from your flesh, but faith comes from your Father. And God never gives you a word based on how you feel. He gives you a word based on what He knows. He knows your strength even when you feel weak. He knows your future even when you feel stuck. He knows your purpose even when you feel lost. So trust the one who sees the whole picture, not the emotions that only see the moment. When affliction tries to weaken you, your feelings will be the first thing the enemy uses against you. He'll try to make you feel abandoned, forgotten, unworthy, unprepared. But faith exposes the truth. You are surrounded, protected, loved, strengthened, and chosen. Faith cuts through emotional noise. Faith turns the volume down on anxiety and turns the volume up on God's promises. Faith says, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper," even when the weapon is fear. Faith says, "I can do all things through Christ," even when your body feels exhausted. Faith says, "God is fighting for me," even when you don't feel Him near. Your feelings can't see tomorrow, but faith can. Your feelings can't see what God is building behind the scenes, but faith knows something is being prepared. Faith always sees further, always believes deeper, always stands stronger. And every time you choose faith over feelings, you step into spiritual maturity. You start living from strength instead of struggle. You begin to rise rather than sink. So today, let faith speak first. Let faith speak loudest. When your feelings say, "I'm not enough," let faith answer, "God is more than enough." When your feelings say, "I'm afraid," let faith declare, "I am protected." When your feelings say, "I'm overwhelmed," let faith respond, "I am upheld." Because the moment faith becomes the loudest voice in your life, affliction loses its power, and you become unshakable. God turns broken places into blessed places because nothing in your life is wasted. Not the pain, not the tears, not the disappointments, not the setbacks that left you breathless. Every broken moment you thought was the end was actually the beginning of something divine being formed beneath the surface. Brokenness is not a sign that God has abandoned you. It is often the sign that He is reshaping you. When something breaks in your life, God is not standing on the sidelines shaking His head. He is stepping into the mess with His hands already at work, turning what hurt you into what will eventually elevate you. You may not see it immediately, but God never leaves a broken area untouched. He rebuilds, restores, and transforms in ways far beyond human understanding. You see, people assume brokenness means failure, but in God's kingdom, brokenness is preparation. The strongest vessels are the ones that have been refined. The most powerful testimonies are born from the deepest wounds. The most beautiful stories come from chapters that were once painful to read. When your heart breaks, God gathers every piece, not to put it back the way it was, but to build something stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your destiny. The thing that shattered you may be the very thing that shapes you. God has a way of taking the fragments of your life and arranging them into purpose. There are seasons when life cracks open beneath your feet. Relationships fall apart, dreams collapse, plans change, people disappoint you, or sudden hardship hits without warning. In those moments it's easy to think, why would God allow this? But sometimes God lets what is weak fall apart so he can replace it with what is strong. He lets what is temporary crumble so he can establish what is everlasting. He lets what is unhealthy break so he can make room for what will bless you. Brokenness is not God taking from you. It's God clearing space for what he is about to give you. God does his greatest work in the places we'd rather hide. He heals the parts we're ashamed of. He breathes life into the places we thought were dead. He shines light into corners of our hearts we forgot existed. When you hand him your brokenness, you are not handing him a burden. You are handing him the raw material for a miracle. He cannot bless what you pretend is whole. But the moment you surrender what hurts, he begins to build what heals. The enemy wants you to believe that brokenness disqualifies you. But God uses brokenness as your qualification. The enemy wants you to think your pain is pointless. But God uses pain as the pathway to purpose. The enemy wants you to sit in shame over what happened. But God uses that very story to lift others out of the same pit you once cried in. Nothing is wasted when it reaches the hands of God. He turns wounds into wisdom. He turns tears into transformation. He turns loss into lessons that guide your future. Sometimes the blessing isn't what God gives you. It's who you become through what he walked you through. Sometimes the miracle isn't the outcome. It's the strength that grows in you along the way. Sometimes the breakthrough isn't external. It's the internal shift where you find peace in places where you once felt despair. Look back at your life for a moment. Every time something broke, something new emerged. Every time you thought it was over, something greater came after. You didn't stay shattered. You didn't stay stuck. You rose. And that rising was not accidental. It was divine. So don't fear broken places. They are holy ground. They are where God builds, restores, lifts, and transforms. And one day, the very thing that hurt you will become the thing that blesses you and everyone connected to your life. Because in God's hands, broken turns into blessed. Every time, walk into the day with purpose, not pain. Because the morning is not a place to drag yesterday's burdens. It's a place to plant today's intention. Too many people wake up and immediately let old wounds, old memories, old mistakes, and old emotions hijack their mindset before the day even begins. But when you walk into the day with purpose, you make a conscious decision to lead your life instead of being led by whatever tries to pull you backward. Purpose is powerful. Pain is heavy. And whichever one you choose to carry into your day determines the entire direction of your steps. Walking with purpose doesn't mean you ignore what hurt you. It means you refuse to let it define you. Pain will always try to be the loudest voice in the morning. It will remind you of who left, what failed, what disappointed you, and what still feels uncertain. Pain tries to greet you before you even rise. But purpose steps in with authority and says, I am not here to relive yesterday. I am here to shape today. Purpose shifts your focus from what happened to what's possible. It redirects your energy from what broke you to what's being built through you. It moves you from survival mode to assignment mode. When you walk with purpose, you wake up with intention. You remind yourself, I am not here to drift. I am here to grow. I am here to rise. I am here to fulfill what God placed in me. People who walk in purpose carry a different kind of strength. They don't crumble at the first sign of adversity. They don't react emotionally to every distraction. They don't let fear or insecurity steal their momentum. They walk with a sense of direction that darkness cannot confuse. Purpose doesn't erase challenges, but it gives you the mindset to conquer them. Pain says, I can't handle this. Purpose says, God didn't bring me this far to leave me now. Pain says, everything is going wrong. Purpose says, everything is forming me. Pain focuses on the storm. Purpose focuses on the one who calms it. You must choose to be led by what God put in front of you, not by what life put behind you. What is behind you is history. What is in front of you is destiny. And every morning gives you the opportunity to step into destiny with clarity, conviction, and commitment. The enemy wants you to carry pain so you walk slower, think smaller, and doubt deeper. He knows that a believer walking with purpose is unstoppable. Purpose gives you spiritual sight. It helps you see the meaning in your journey, the lessons in your valleys, the strength in your struggles. When you walk into the day with pain, you move from fear. When you walk in with purpose, you move from faith. And faith is what unlocks possibility. Faith is what lifts your head. Faith is what tells you you are equipped. You are capable. You are chosen for this day. Purpose reminds you that today is not random. It's not accidental. God put breath in your lungs this morning because there is something today that requires your presence, your strength, your wisdom, your compassion, your voice. You matter to this day. You are necessary to this day. And you have work to do in this day. Walking with purpose means deciding who you are before the world tries to tell you. It means setting your intention before someone else sets your mood. It means carrying peace into environments that lack it, carrying strength into moments that test it, and carrying faith into places that need it. You don't enter the day as a victim. You enter as a vessel. You don't walk in carrying the past. You walk in carrying promise. And that promise is bigger than the pain that tried to stop you. So before you step out today, breathe deep and tell your spirit, I walk into this day with purpose, not pain. I walk with vision, not fear. I walk with strength, not sorrow. And I walk knowing God goes before me. When you lead with purpose, everything in your day aligns around the strength of that decision. You rise stronger, you move clearer, you live fuller, and you become unstoppable.